doesn't mean uninterested, so just FYI, if you happen to pick up on that, you might have thought, that was kind of curious, I would think they would want someone
Right.
to care, but that's what disinterested means. Well, Steph had a far-ranging presentation, that covered a lot of bases. It should be known that Pulitzer and his rival, William Randolph Hearst, who, by the way, is the template for the character of Citizen Kane, played by Orson Welles in that famous early movie. Hearst was the template for that. That was Hearst. But their rivalry largely contributed to us going to war in 1898 with Spain over this place off the coast of Florida called Cuba. And they just whipped up this war hysteria, this drumbeat for war. And Congress didn't want to go to war, but the coverage was so intense and really over the top between Pulitzer's world and his rival's newspaper, Journal, that went to war.
Remember the name.
And by the way, the catalyst or the fuse that was lit or that blew up that caused us to go to war, the tipping point was when an American battleship visiting Havana Harbor blew up, the loss of hundreds of American lives. Turned out it wasn't those damn Spanish oppressors who blew it up, which is how they were characterized, the Spanish. It was in fact a spontaneous combustion the historians believe led to the explosion of the Maine. But that became the battle cry, remember the Maine, and it so often seems to be the case we go to war over false assumptions.
Facts.
The other thing, a couple other things. Nellie did go to, was incarcerated in this madhouse, this lunatic asylum. She had faith that Joe Pulitzer would, as he promised, bail her out, get
Right.
her out after 10 days.
Right.
There was some faith there that her boss would come to
It
her
took a lot of trust. I don't know if I could do the same.
And he did. He came to her rescue. The other thing that was mentioned was, I'll get a second. The other thing was, well, go ahead, ask me a question.
Is that Nellie Bly story like the basis or inspiration for Shutter Island?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's
I
a good
don't know.
question. I don't know.
Because they're very similar, even though they are different. I don't want to spoil it, but like they are very
How about
similar.
you check it out and find out for us?
I tried to Google it,
Yeah.
and there was nothing.
I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But I would like to.
I didn't know if you in the journalism world, everybody's like, "Did you see Shutter Island?"
Yeah. You know something, and I monitor movies, journalism-related movies, feature movies, as well as documentaries, and I don't recall ever coming across that, but maybe so, find out. See if Google will
I'll go
finally
in the
disclose
underground.
that. The point about the Joe Pulitzer was a very good businessman. And he was great at getting the public involved. He bought The World, which is a very stodgy, gray newspaper. People did not really, the people who were buying it were actually people who were dying.
Yeah.
They were old, they were conservative, they were quite fine with a gray, kind of boring looking newspaper. And Joe Pulitzer was the equivalent of the guy who let snakes loose in the classroom to wake up people looking at their cell phones. Bingo. And it worked. The people died off who were then getting the newspaper, and they were replaced by a million or so of new readers. What Joe Pulitzer offered, are you going back to your cell phone still?
No, I'm listening.
Well, am I being channeled to you through that?
Huh?
No. Okay. Are you paying them?
Huh?
Are you paying them to entertain you right now? Okay. Work with me here. All right. Of course, now I forgot where I was.
Pulitzer made it millions, was selling it to
Yeah, he
millions.
asked the school kids of America to contribute their pennies to the purchase and the erection of the base of the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe was really good at marketing, then turned around and he made the Statue of Liberty part of the logo, essentially, of his newspaper. And the motto of the newspaper was, I think it shines for all.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So he got all the school kids involved. And he also established, there's a reference about the Pulitzer Prize. He also provided an endowment for a creation of a journalism school at Columbia, which is regarded as one of the better journalism schools in the United States. Rather pricey. But the reason in part that Joe Pulitzer did it was he deeply regretted his rivalry with Hearst in terms of what it did. It did not represent the brighter side of, well, his being. He realized that it had been a bad mistake, he'd gotten caught up in something he didn't make his reputation look good. So Joe Pulitzer had, basically it was a beauty makeover. And he created this prize that is his legacy. He created the endowment for the Columbia School of Journalism, that's his legacy. And probably hopes that history doesn't remember that he was involved in this sordid episode called Yellow Journalism, which of course took its name from the dueling cartoon strips of Hearst's newspaper and Pulitzer's newspaper. So there are a lot of threads here, kind of a lot of threads. And nobody picked up, I think, on my suggested topic of pioneering women journalists, but Nellie Bly was certainly, did you?
Yeah. And
Was
then
that the title of it?
and then I chose to do Dame Ann Leslie.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, I stand corrected. Well, of course you did. I'm sorry, but I never mind. Never mind. I didn't take my memory pills for that.
Takes that back.
Thank you. You did.
You're welcome.
Um,
You probably don't remember because it was like the last presentation, like 10
Yeah, we
minutes
rushed
before.
through it.
Yeah.
spring break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Trevor.
Shelley.
Thank you.
Is anyone presenting on Yellow Journalism?
I'm sorry?
Is anyone presenting on Yellow?
Trevor did.
Oh, Trevor did?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I know
Trevor,
Yellow
missed
came.
that.
You
Yeah.
did the other.
Yeah, so we
touched
were
on
overlapping.
Yellow.
All right, I'm sorry. How can I make it up to you? Yes.
Donuts.
Don't ask.
I don't know if you were intending on bringing it up on the list of things that you wrote down to discuss, but the woman who gave back the Pulitzer Prize, I remember you telling us about her before, but I forget like what the article was about. Like, didn't she lie about a child? But like, what about?
Janet Cook.
Yeah.
You're right, that you brought up. Janet Cook was a journalist with the Washington Post. She wrote a series about a 9-year-old heroin addict.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
made an addict basically by his uncle. He turned into an addict thanks to his uncle's
But didn't he have
oversight. And turned out there, and the series was called Jimmy's World. There was no Jimmy. Jimmy, though, however, was a composite character drawn from many of her
encounters?
contacts in the Washington, world, not the ones that we typically hear about. And she was, her downfall was that she won the Pulitzer Prize, which brought the spotlight back on her. And when she started, when the Washington Post and its reveling in the basking in the glory of its another Pulitzer, started to do a bio, they discovered that she had falsified her college record.
Mhm.
And had not necessarily gone to where she said she had gone. And that the ball started to unravel, and then she finally, under cross-examination and by editors of the Post, admitted that she had falsified, the story was bogus. So it was a major scandal. Just 10 years after Washington Post was, center of the journalism universe with this Watergate coverage, now it's got the other side, the other side of the coin. Yeah, returned the Pulitzer Prize in ignominy. And Cook got similarly, she got fired. They couldn't kill her legally, so the best thing they could do was to fire her. Yeah.
Wasn't there, and I only vaguely remember, and this might not make any sense, but wasn't there a woman who was a journalist and she was killed, because she was like revealing things about like the silk industry or something like that? Or something, the word silk is in there? Yes.
Well, I don't remember anybody about Silk Road, but there was an Irish journalist who reported on gangs and on crimes that they did and the killings that they did, and they ended up killing her in the street. They shot her in the street, and her death ended up leading to 120 arrests of gang members.
Oh, wow.
and there's like a movie about it. I think Kate Blanchett plays the journalist. But yeah.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about has a movie too, but it's not like that. Like they drove her off the road or something.
Oh shit. Nope, I don't know that one.
Like I don't. Actually,
Okay, guys, so anyways, there are a lot of threads, that, you know, run through the story of Joe Pulitzer, a multitude of different, sidebars. Do we have any other presenters who want to, have their